Welcome to the Big Four Accounting Firms podcast, brought to you by big4accountingfirms.com and the Big Four Accounting Firms YouTube channel. Before we get started, just wanted to remind everybody to support us if you have a chance or if you can. Even $1 helps, and we have a link in the description to a website called Buy Me a Coffee. It's just a way to donate to us and support us. Again, any amount is helpful so that we can keep putting out content. And there's also other ways for you to support us in the show notes to this podcast or on YouTube in the description. So in today's podcast, I wanted to discuss news of E&Y's results in Australia. Now, E&Y's results were that they had made $2.3 billion in Australia, which represents, according to them, a 9% increase in revenue. But they also said that they're facing the tightest recruitment market for experienced professionals in more than 25 years. And I've spoken about this many times on this podcast, and it just continues to be true around the world. But the difference between E&Y and KPMG was that their strategy and transactions division was the standout performer, increasing revenue by 25%, where we saw KPMG's did not grow that much. It was really KPMG's audit division that did the best. And E&Y's tax and law division was pretty flat, and their audit was pretty flat. But I mean, we're seeing more and more of the job market issue around the world as government spending increases and people make tons of money off of that. But there's even news today in the US about there being more than 1 million job openings more than unemployed people. And a lot of that was based in professional service firms or just professional services in general. And so I think there's a lot of demand out there. And I think a lot of it is consulting firms and the big four accounting firms, to be honest with you. And this news from E&Y that they were even giving some consultants over $40,000 of bonuses to entice them to stay, because that's one of the big problems the big four accounting firms are going to face, especially to the people out there with you that think there's not big raises. There has to be big raises, otherwise they're going to lose these people, and then they're going to be competing, and then the big four accounting firms are going to be competing in an open job market and trying to recruit people that they won't be able to find or at an increased rate. So if they can keep their employees at a salary that is reasonable and then just give them a bonus, and that's what they're going to do. But even if they have to pay them more, they're going to, because they don't want to have to compete in the marketplace against consulting firms and the other big four accounting firms that might be willing to pay more. And we saw this with the KPMG Australia increase to partner payouts. We saw this in the UK with the huge partner payouts. In Australia, KPMG had 17% increase for partners alone. That's not staff. And then also in the UK, PwC was paying their partners and increased their pay by 19%, and we're still waiting for more numbers to come out around the world. But in Australia, or in EY in Australia, they did not release the numbers for the partners, so we'll just have to keep an eye on that as they release more financial information. But we have another big four accounting firm here that's posting results, and then they speak about the marketplace, the job market for professionals, and how it's going to be difficult. And even in Australia, where they have COVID lockdowns and all kinds of crazy stuff, the economy's still doing well. We saw this in prior year in Australia where they anticipated the worst, and then it ended up being a really great year, and then the employees got really mad. And I even saw an article about PwC in Australia. They also changed the way that they're going to pay out their employees. They're going to implement a new strategy of having more employees eligible to receive bonus from prior years, where before about 40% of people could expect to receive a bonus, and then now 80% of people can receive a bonus. And that's not because PwC likes handing out bonuses, nor any of these firms like handing out bonuses. Typically the big four accounting firm bonuses are not that good, but they have to be now in order to get people to stay. And then they're also in Australia for PwC, they said that they're going to put an additional $15 million into a new learning academy to strengthen the company's ability to attract and retain top talent. Now, I'm not sure exactly what that's going to entail and how that's going to keep people engaged. I think recognition, financial recognition helps, but also just mentoring and actually treating those people very well and getting them to and doing other things for them to stay. But I don't know about a learning academy unless the learning academy is for the partners to engage with the top talent. So I'm not sure that'll be as big as impact as a financial impact. But as you can see, this is the time to strike while the iron is hot in the big four accounting firms, because the job market is pretty crazy out there and there's a lot of job openings and people are taking opportunities, and the big four accounting firms have to compete against that. So you have to use that to your advantage to get paid more, whether you choose to work for the big four accounting firms or whether you choose to move on and use the hot job market to increase your pay substantially. And then you can maybe leverage that to come back to the big four accounting firms at an even higher salary later on. So I'm just encouraging people to use this news to make sure that they're getting paid during this time period, whether it's an increase in salary or an additional bonus. Even the big four accounting firms are admitting it themselves now, so hopefully that you can strike while the iron is hot. But we'll keep you updated on all these financial results and partner pay and other pay, just so you can understand how crazy this job market is. But that's the update for today. Make sure to subscribe to this podcast to get future updates. Also, check out the show notes for links on how you can support us. Thanks for listening.